I want to ask you specifically about, the 3 songs you had on there, Never No More, Read Between the Lines, and I Can Be. Can you give some background on the specific recording on those? Maybe talk a little bit about, how Aaliyah was in there when she was recording those.
Okay, yeah, all 3 of those songs let me think, Never No More, I Can Be, and Between the Lines. We actually cut all of those in Australia.
Yeah.
At, I believe, Sing Sing Studios in one, and I can't remember the other studio.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing. I mean, I think that Static and Aaliyah fit like a glove together, honestly. I mean, and I know you probably heard before any of the demos that Static has done for her, or just any demos he do for anybody as an artist, but I think they fit like a glove to where, once she got on it, it wasn't exactly the way you remembered or got used to it being when Static would do it, but she put her own touch to it, but it fit. It was almost like he was her muse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, we cut those songs in Australia. I remember Never No More just being, and cutting that song, it just being, all of the songs were definitely songs that came from Static writing, but, both he and Aaliyah had been talking about direction on where she wanted to go. And, and she talked with me about direction on, vibe or the sound she wanted it to be. I know that Between the Lines started out musically as a whole nother thing, and so did I Can Be.
Wow.
And once Static laid his vocals, I was able to flip them, and I'm pretty happy with how those songs turned out, because as a producer, I've always wanted to not necessarily be pigeonholed in regards to what my sound is, like, oh, that's butter.
Yeah.
I can tell that's just that, but that's butter. I would rather be known as, man, who did that?
Yeah.
And then you go hear it. I mean, you go see the credit, and you're like, man, I want to be attached with excellence.
Mm-hmm.
So, in saying that, I was happy with all 3 of the songs because I think that they showed diversity. I think, the Read Between the Lines, I think that, in the content that Static put and the way that Aaliyah was able to articulate it, I think the vibe of the track being somewhat Latin and with the live, percussion and horns, that it just added something fresh that I thought that she, not only would be good for her, but just something fresh and not necessarily, it's been done before, but not in that way.
Yeah.
I think Never No More, I Can Be, it started out one way, and I kind of had to flip it due to, it starting out as a sample, and I wanted to flip it so that, we wasn't dealing with a sample issue. Tank had laid that in California, and I'm trying to think, maybe he was doing promo or something for his album, so he wasn't able to come to Australia.
Yeah.
So we cut it without him in Australia, and she basically, in taking, and her doing it so well with Static, I think she was able to understand, okay, this is what the person that laid it down is trying to articulate, and she was able to put herself into it and be able to do it to where once she redid it, it's not like Tank would have said, nah, that ain't working.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I enjoyed working on that song as well because it had an element musically for me to where it had been done before, but not, I don't, and I could be wrong, but in my own mind, I think that the element of doing hip-hop / R&B with a tinge of rock had been done, but not in that way before.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it always, in attempting to do it, it seems like someone may lean too much to the rock side, so it don't feel, natural. It don't feel organic.
Yeah.
Or they might lean too much to the hip hop side, and then rockers might not appreciate it because it don't, it's not cut right. The guitars don't sound right. So I think it was a happy medium between all of the genres, between hip hop, rock, and R&B that made, that song, along with, the content and her beautiful voice on it, I think, made that song what it was, because, it was almost like, sweetness singing over chaos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Never No More, just in itself, I was honored that she ended up picking that track, because Static, when he wrote to it, and wrote what he wrote, I was excited when I originally did the track, because I did live strings and other things on there. So, the melodies and stuff he chose, everything just worked out perfect. You know what I mean? So, and thinking about those 3 songs, long story short, I was just happy with all 3 of the songs, because I think that they showed different, ability. I think it showed, different ways or approaches to accent Aaliyah.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, and there's 2 more I'd like for you to shed some light on, which didn't make the album, and we've had a chance to hear Static's demo version of them, and that's Questions and CEO. If you remember those 2, and first, do you remember if Aaliyah had ever recorded those, and what do you remember about those songs?
To be honest, Questions, actually J-Dub did Questions.
Oh, okay, my mistake.
J-Dub, it's all good. J-Dub did Questions, which that song, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Like, that song will make you cry.
Yeah.
Just in thinking about that song, I mean, because musically it was beautiful. I mean, and on top of that, what Stat wrote, it was just dumb, man. That song was dumb. Questions and what was the other song?
CEO.
Yeah, CEO was another one too that I think like she was super close to doing that song. I think we cut the hook. Yeah, we cut the hook, and Static, finished a couple other things on there, and I think we ran out of time, and she just never got back around to cutting it. I think that was a big song, though. I mean, it was, it was like a girl empowerment song, but without being, it was pretty cocky, honestly. But the way it was done, I think the way it was done was great,
Yeah.
But we only cut the hook on that and didn't finish the whole song.
Okay.
We might have cut a hook and cut the bridge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there was a couple songs we did like that. There's another song that we did that, I actually got to dig that song up and think about it. The song called True Entertainer.
Oh, yes, we've heard Static's version of that one.
Yeah, and Static, it was one of them songs where, he was definitely feeling it. And, you're like, and he was doing it for her, but was he?
Wow, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, Stat was like, man, dog, this is me. You know what I mean? So, we cut it, and then one night, it was late, she ended up cutting the hook, and we didn't get around to the verses, so, yeah.
Oh, okay. So, wait, just to confirm, she did the hook on CEO and also True Entertainer, or just CEO?
She did the hook on both of them.
Oh, wow, that's...
Yeah.
We didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because we've heard True Entertainer, we've heard Static's version. We never heard her vocals on that. We had no idea that was for her.
Yeah, yep. I got a version with her. If not on CD, I got a version with her, on some Pro Tools files where she's singing the hook. He's tucked under there with her, but you could, it's her on the hook.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it sounds interesting, too, because you know how aggressive that song is.
Yeah, exactly.
So she's on there like, just the game, just the rain.
Wow. That's amazing.
It sounds crazy. It sounds crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, man.
Is there any other songs that you remember that were maybe during that session that he recorded for her, or she was working on, that never ended up making it, maybe we don't know about?
Yeah, I mean, title-wise, I can't remember a lot of the titles, but we cut all type of songs for her, during that time. And my goal was to not just have diversity on the album in regards to music content, but I was working hard, man, to try. I wanted to get as many joints on there as I could.
Yeah.
So, along with the joints that I cut with Static, which might have been maybe 6 or 7, I probably cut, 15 or so other joints, trying to lock down as much as I could, with different writers. I think Tank and I may have cut 3, and just the one made it on there.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe 2.
Yeah.
And, with a couple other writers, we was really trying to, do as much as we could, and, basically try to put an album together for her to be able to hear, to see, what she felt. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Okay. And just to wrap up here, tell us about what you're currently working on. What you've been up to.
Well, currently I have an artist named Eddie Gomez, and he sings. I hate to put descriptions on different artists of what they sound like, but just in a rough sense, I think he's a combination of. He's not only an artist; he's a musician as well. So he's a combination of John Mayer / Lauryn Hill / maybe Justin Timberlake.
Oh wow! Okay.
He's Latin, and we just finished mixing his album, and I'm about to approach some labels, and we're just getting the rest of his package together.
Okay.
But yeah, Eddie Gomez. Look out for Eddie Gomez, and for the last 6 or so years, I've been doing a lot of film and television stuff.
Okay.
I did the new Muppets that was on the Disney Channel, and a couple other shows on Disney, and been doing some independent movies. I had my first feature release this year with a movie called The Heart Specialist.
Okay.
That has Zoe Saldana and a couple other folk in it, but just kind of switch gears a little bit. You know what I mean? I honestly wanted to be able to do film and television, and at my discretion, do what artists I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And not necessarily beat chase.
Yeah.
Because there's a million people trying to do beats and submit for projects and stuff.
Exactly.
Which, I know what I bring to the table, and not blowing my own horn or being, egotistical or anything. I mean, I know what I can bring to the table.
Yeah.
And it's not just beats. No,
I feel you on that. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, thank you so much, man, for this interview. You did an amazing job of sharing this history with us, and the readers are gonna love to hear all this history, and it's it's great.
Word, man, I appreciate it there, and it was good going down memory lane too.
Yeah, cool.
You know what I mean? Now I gotta go dig out some music and reminisce.
Yeah, there you go, man. So,
all right.
Cool, man.
All
thank
right,
you so much. I'll be in touch through email or whatever when we publish. It should be next week, and we're definitely going to use some of your quotes that from this interview, and we're putting together a whole Aaliyah feature, based on the album. We got a bunch of other producers to talk about it as well that were involved, so it'll be good.
Okay, yeah.
So.
Oh, that's good. That's exciting.
Yeah.
You know what? And honestly, too, what's funny, it's good to kind of be on that angle, because a lot of times, and a lot of other interviews that I've done, cats kind of single in on, the stuff I've done in regards to Cube and Dre and stuff like that. So it was just good, because this was a transitional period in my life, all the way around the board. You know what I mean? And it was a good one. So I'm glad you guys touched on it, and I appreciate it.